Hospitals. I'm Dr. Ann Borik, board certified at internal medicine, and I'm here to keep you up to date on the latest information pertaining to your health and well-being. Welcome to our live DocTalk radio show, sponsored by Gilbert Hospital and Florence Hospital at Anthem. Joe, I can't believe we're in here and we have power. Just a few minutes ago, we didn't really have power.
We had zero power. That's for sure.
And we put out things on Facebook, and so those of you listening and tuning in, thank you for being here. We have a fantastic show in store today. We really are privileged to have the owner of the Queen Creek Olive Mill and the general manager in the studio with us. Thank you so much, guys, for being here.
You're absolutely welcome.
It's our pleasure.
Perry Ray and Rob Holmes, right?
Yep.
Perry, tell us a little bit about about your background, what made you do this, what this is all about, the olive mill.
Well, do you got an hour?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
This is your show. We're going to talk about olives.
All right. Well, it all happened about 15 years ago when my wife and I was in the automotive industry, and I retired from the automotive industry in Detroit. So my wife and I moved down here. Well, we actually visited here to visit my parents, and they were staying in Fountain Hills, and this was in the wintertime.
Right.
So we were traveling around downtown Phoenix and Scottsdale, and I noticed all these olive trees growing with olives on them. Mm-hmm. So, and at that time in my life, we were kind of thinking about what's the next thing we're going to do. So we went back to Detroit, and we were sitting in a bar one night and drinking a little bit of wine, and my wife looked at me and she's, "Why don't we make olive oil in Arizona?"
Really?
That's exactly how it happened.
Wow.
So, as soon as that happened, I started obviously doing a lot of different things in terms of seeing whether they grow here, talking to U of A and their field department, visiting the Gila River Indians, who at that point their community had planted olive trees for curing olives, visiting some people in California who had groves and who were starting to press oil. So my wife and I attended a class at UC Davis on how to make olive oil. So after that, it was a matter of just figuring out what grew here, and we moved our family down here and started making olive oil.
Isn't that, how long have you been here?
We've been in the valley 15 years. My wife was actually eight months pregnant with our fifth child when we moved here.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Wow. Tell us a little bit about what you've developed. I mean, I know there's a restaurant. What do you do? What happens at the olive mill?
Well, we're this crazy agritourism making olive oil guys. That's what we do. We have a true agritourism company.
So you're the master blender. Is that? I mean,
that's what they call me. They call me because I'm the only guy that really puts all of the oils together to come up with our profiles.
How neat.
And that's where I have all my fun. I'm Italian. I like to cook. So it's, for me, it's just second nature. And it's not so much difficult, but you really have to have a palate for it. So that's what I do.
Wow.
Yeah. In fact, all the products that we make are the result of Perry's taste. Everything that we make is tasted. It's his recipe, and it's delicious.
Yeah. So all these crazy stuffed olives that we have, those are things that I like the mesquite smoked almond, the sun-baked tomato, the wasabi ginger stuffed olive. So all these crazy olives are really.
How many olives are there?
Oh, there are hundreds of olives.
Really?
In the world, yeah. There are literally hundreds of olives. And to tell you the truth, a lot of the olives are some that are Italian varieties or Spanish varieties or Greek varieties. They may call them a different name in Spain or in Italy or in Greece, and sometimes they're exactly the same olive. But there are literally hundreds. And the key for your listeners to understand is there is a big difference between olive oil olives and olives that you eat.
Interesting.
And the difference is the quantity of oil. Some olives are specifically used in the the processing of olive oil because it has more oil content in it.
Gotcha.
Whereas the olives that you generally find in the stores tend to have less oil content, and mostly Manzanitos or Sevillano olives.
And the Kalamata?
Kalamata is what I would call a dual-purpose olive. You can cure it Kalamata style. You can cure any olive to taste like a Kalamata, by the way.
Really?
Absolutely. It's just it's the little red wine that they put in it when they cure it. But it also makes fantastic oil. So on our farm, we have about 16 different olives.
Okay.
And planted over the last 15 years. And really, the olives that, some olives do better than others. So it's kind of like trial and error. And 3 years ago, I planted another 8 varieties.
Wow.
And this year, I'm experimenting with even a different style of planting and harvesting with 3 what I would call dwarf Spanish varieties. So that's kind of cool right now for me because, that's the biggest part of this thing is just having fun, seeing what grows and pressing the oil.
Right, and tasting it. I got to tell you, this olive oil is like I've never tasted. I mean, I've been to Italy, the last 3 years in a row, and this is, second to none.
Well, look at the color. This oil just came out of the mill this morning. Matter of fact, not even this morning, probably 15 minutes ago.
It was about an hour ago. I
So if
filled
you-
up a...
Really?
Wow. If you look at the color of this oil, it's still cloudy. It's still fresh. It's, what is that? What is that color anyway? I don't know. It's like almost like a fluorescent lime green. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
it is.
And it's
And it tastes sweet.
It's herbaceous. If you, it's gonna hit you on the back of your throat. This is 100% Mission olive oil, which is, by the way, the most of the olives that we have planted on our property are the Mission olives, brought here by the Spanish missionaries in the 1800s.
Wow.
And planted all up and down California, and they found their way here. So,
Let me ask you, what's the difference between black olives and green olives? I mean, that's a big question. And we'll talk a little bit about the health benefits, but I'd love to hear
All right.
what.
There's no such thing as a black olive. That's the first thing.
Okay.
let me tell you a little bit about olives. Okay?
This is good, listeners out there. This is great.
All right. So, an olive will begin to ripen on a tree in a green ripe state.
Okay.
So, when an olive is green ripe, you can generally just squeeze it and the bone will separate, or the stone will separate from the meat. So that's a green ripe olive. It'll continue to ripen on the tree until it becomes purple ripe. So very dark. And you've seen that in the valley where
Absolutely.
you've seen olives
Yeah.
fall to the ground. All right, well, that's a purple ripe olive. Now, when they're making the beautiful little black things that people put on their fingers at on Thanksgiving, right? Those are actually harvested green ripe,
Okay.
and then they are cured with lye,
Really?
and then they are go through a number of different washes so that they extract that rye. Rye makes them cure quickly. It's a manufacturing process, so they want to do it quickly, and then to turn them black. And the reason they turn them black is because our olives they bruise very easily. So just so they look good,
Really?
they oxygenate them
Okay.
and they turn them black. Because if you ever eat one of those black olives, if you bite into it, you'll notice the inside of it is still a little bit green.
Yes.
All right. Well, that olive starts out green, turns black. So
Interesting.
you don't want to be eating lye-cured olives. All of the olives that we have at the olive mill and all of the olives that we cure in Arizona are all naturally cured, which take about 3 to 8 months to cure. And then we do some magic to them and turn them into any kind of flavor we want.
Wow. So you do have black olives at the olive
No,
mill?
we don't have
Well,
black.
but I mean, there's olives that look black.
Well, they're dark.
They're
Well,
dark.
they're dark purple.
They're dark purple. Okay.
Yeah, I call them
Okay.
purple ripe. They're
Okay.
very dark. And the nice thing, if you'll never see a bird eat an olive off a tree. You'll only see a bird eat an olive off the ground after that has dehydrated and almost turned into a little prune. Because what's happened is the sour or the bitter olive water has evaporated, and all that's left is this
Is the sweet.
sweetness, right?
Now, storing olives, I read a little bit, and there's some research, and we'll talk a little bit about the medical effects. But one of the things is it true that light heat affects the olive?
The olive oil. You're talking about olive oil?
Yeah.
Yes,
olives
yes.
as well, I guess.
Well, no, not so much olives. Olives, when they're cured, they're bulletproof.
Really? So it doesn't matter.
Oh my goodness! You can keep them on your counter, put them in your fridge.
That's good.
Olives,
Okay.
once they're cured, they're pretty bulletproof.
Okay.
But for olive oil, olive oil is not like wine. It doesn't get better with age. As soon as it comes out, this is the freshest it'll ever be,
Wow.
right in front of me, in front of you. Now,
Isn't that
as long as
interesting?
you keep it in an airtight container with no light at ambient temperature,
Right.
that's how you want to store the olive oils. As a matter of fact, if you go to the mill, if you ever do our tour, you're going to see these very cool stainless steel containers that we brought in from Italy that actually have lids that float on top of the olive oil with a little pump on the outside to secure the lid so that there's no oxygen, no air at ambient temperature. And that's the best way to store it. Now, people always ask me, what is the shelf life of olive oil? And the way I explain it is this: as long as it goes into the bottle fresh, it will remain fresh in the bottle for 1 year,
Okay.
opened or closed. But the key is it needs to go into the bottle fresh. And fresh means it is the most recent harvest, and it has been stored in an oxygen-free, low light, and ambient temperature.
Got it.
Now, at the mill, in the dark bottle thing, the dark bottle thing is good. We choose not to do it because we go through all of our oil very quickly, and I blend my oil every 6 weeks, and I bottle it every 3 weeks.
Wow.
And look how beautiful it is. We want people to see that.
Yeah.
And this is
Man, I'm looking at that strawberry balsamic vinegar. Oh, that sounds fantastic.
Doesn't that sound good?
Oh, my God.
So as long, and I tell people, when you go to the grocery store and you see all those olive oils on the shelf, and grab one and look at it and see if it's got the bottle date, or see if it's got a harvest date. And if it doesn't, just buy the bottle with the least amount of dust on
Well,
it.
what about virgin oil and extra virgin?
Oh, lots
and,
of virgins
and
going
all
on.
this kind of stuff. So I know Joe has a question.
We've got several so far.
Good. Callers out there, listen, this is a great opportunity. Call in 480-745-1033. Perry, Rob, these guys are awesome, and I'd love to hear from you. But we want to get to my question. But, Joe, what do
Let's
you
just
have?
knock out a few really quick here. Brenda from Augusta, Maine wants to know, do you have a website she can purchase online, oils, olives, gifts for Christmas?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely. QueenCreekOliveMill.com. And you click on the little shopping bag, takes you to our web store, and all of our products are on the website, and we ship all over the country.
And pay close attention, Brenda and Sal out there in Augusta. You are going to see all kinds and hear all kinds of things you are going to want to order
Really
right
neat.
away. Philip from Phoenix. Do you have regular tours for our club, Kiwanis of Phoenix?
You take that
Absolutely, yeah. Olive Oil 101, we do it every day from 9:30 to 3:30 at the bottom of every hour. Groups of 10 or more, we book. We put together a Olive Oil 101 and meal package for them, and it's a great experience. They'll learn more than they ever thought they would about
And
it.
I have
Well,
to say,
my most favorite thing is that when I do a tour, you can walk around the mill with a glass of wine in your hand,
That's awesome.
and it tends to make the tour go a little quicker.
I have to say, I've done the tour. A great experience, definitely
It's
a must try.
Great place.
Mimosas before 10, wine after 10.
Wine in the Grove.
That's
And
right.
then I'll flip the phone lines back on in just a second here. We've got, let's see, from Globe, Linda from Globe. I come down to the olive mill from Globe. I drive just to have lunch there.
That's awesome. We
So-
love you.
Well, thank you,
No,
because
she loves you.
that's good. That's good. Well, we try to do our, everything that we have in that store is local, or we grow it in our garden. It's either organic or locally grown, and all those recipes that you see there are from my heart. So,
How great.
yeah,
And
lots
we've
of
got
fun.
Carmel Bay up here in the chat wants to know, what does extra virgin olive oil mean?
Oh well, now you're gonna now it's time for
Now it's getting to the
now it's olive oil.
complicated
Now it's time for olive oil school.
Good.
All right,
And we're
well,
taking calls again, guys. 745, that's 480-745-1033. Call in, ask any questions or comments. We'd love to hear from you.
I'm just dying for a piece of bread there.
Well, go ahead.
I will in a minute.
Well,
Okay.
we
Don't
know
stand on ceremony.
we should probably talk about extra virgin olive oil while we're tasting extra virgin olive oil. Okay, so extra virgin olive oil. What is it? Extra virgin olive oil is the oil that is extracted from the olive without the use of any heat or any solvents. So it's the oil that is extracted from the olive purely by mechanical means.
For sure.
And some people call it extra virgin, some people call it fresh pressed, some people call it first pressed,
cold pressed,
and
a low free acidity. That's very important.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So extra virgin olive oil is, there's a number of other criteria involved to ensure that it's extra virgin. For instance, the olive should be harvested and pressed within 24 hours.
Yes.
The oleic acid content needs to be a certain level. There are other different characteristics of the olive oil that are important. You can't use olives that have fallen to the ground, for instance, or they've got the olive fly in it. So now that leads me to the difference between extra virgin and all the other categories of olive oil. You're going to see virgin olive oil, olive oil, pure olive oil, extra light olive oil, and something called pumice olive oil. Those are the other classifications of olive oil.
Desserts.
To make it short and sweet, all the other classifications of olive oil have refined olive oil in them. Okay. Refining meaning that the oil did not make the grade as extra virgin, so it had to be chemically altered, or mostly what they do is they will add solvents to the oil to free the toxicity of the oil, and then they'll add heat to evaporate the solvent, and then you're left with this kind of refined pumice olive oil, which, by the way, a lot of chefs still use.
Right.
And it's highly refined. As a matter of fact, most of the oils that your listeners probably have in their pantry are vegetable oils that are highly refined, peanut oil, corn oil, very highly refined oils. Dr. Andrew Weil has a book called Spontaneous Healing, and in his book he says he's got his 7 steps to a
8 steps.
8 steps?
8 steps.
So many steps.
Well, number 1 is the
but
only
the number
step we care
about. That's true. To a healthy lifestyle. And he says, go into your pantry, throw away all your oils, and replace them with extra virgin olive oil.
Absolutely.
And the reason for that is because it's just a healthy oil.
And the oleic oil, the oil, it's a polyunsaturated fat, and we know that that's beneficial. There's a lot of studies out showing that that's good for decreasing cholesterol and LDL and cancers and the phytochemicals.
I'm 72 years old. Do
you guys believe that?
Right.
Well, it's 86% monounsaturated, right? And
the other question that a lot of people ask me is should I cook with extra virgin olive oil?
Good question.
Should I fry? Should I saute? And the answer to that is absolutely. The smoke point of olive oil is 374 degrees Fahrenheit. All right? There's nothing that you can't saute at 374 degrees Fahrenheit. All the best chefs in the world will use extra virgin olive oil for drizzling, sauteing, even frying.
Right.
And at my house, that's all I use. When I grew up, that's all my mother used. It is the best thing that you can use for yourself.
And it's true. My daughter babysat one time for his family. She made grilled cheese, and she used butter, and she was never invited back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we don't use any butter. When you're making a grilled cheese sandwich, man, you're using garlic olive oil, and it's the best.
Wow.
And a little bit chili. My wife made me chili pop. Are you listening? My wife made me chili popcorn the other day using our chili oil, and I said, "Boy, this is hot." She goes, "I know. I just used a little bit of it too."
It's healthy for you. That's the big thing. I mean, it really brings health to the body.
Yeah. When you go to the mill, we go to long lengths to put a whole bunch of recipe cards that you can pick up for free throughout the whole mill, right beside all of our products, our tapenades, our olives, our oils, our vinegars, so that we can really show people how to use the product.
Boy, that's great. Joe, what else you got?
And for those of you calling in and getting a busy signal right now, we've got our next barrage of questions here, and as soon as I'm done, I'll flip those phones back on. Millie from Phoenix, is this the place I heard of with the music and entertainment? And how's the food?
How's the food?
Well, we do have live entertainment in the Grove on Saturdays and Sundays. Saturday night we have live entertainment. This Friday night we have our Hallovino, a costume party for adults over 21 because we're serving wine and beer, and we'll have music Friday night as well. So it is. I'm sure it's the place you've heard about, and the food is excellent. It's unique in our Trattoria del Piero, casual Mediterranean cuisine with a local and organic influence.
With a very romantic feel.
You know, just before I left the hospital, I was
Are you okay?
on the nurses floor, and one of the nurses, I told them you were going to be on, and the one nurse says, I go there like at least once a week, every other week. The food is absolutely excellent. So now the talk of the hospital is about the food. So for Millie out there, yes, I can attest that the food is good. I've been there, and the food is excellent. So.
There you go.
Johnny from Tucson wants to know, does he need to make reservations, or can he make reservations to bring him and his wife down to eat?
No, we're deli style, so it's a free for all. No, it's nice. We have lots of room in the Grove and in the mill, and there's really very little wait time at all.
Do you have other restaurants around the valley, or is this the only
Well, that's
location?
a very good question. We have a satellite store that sells our products in Kierland Commons.
Okay.
It's called Oils and Olives by Queen Creek Olive Mill, and we also have a lot of other local products in there that we are partnered with some local vendors here in town. So it's a kind of a cool store, and it's really a tasting room. We sell some very unique wines, Arizona wines, and also some wines that I personally select, and that's a lot of fun too. But you can taste all of our stuff at Oils and Olives at Kierland. So if you can't make it all the way out to the mill, we're right beside Sur La Table and beside Bobby's Restaurant in Kierland Commons. Now on November 8th, we'll be opening up a Trattoria del Piero in the Biltmore, as well as another Oils and Olives in the Biltmore.
Wow.
In the new concept called Union, which is a kind of an open-air market at the Biltmore that is just for local vendors. And it's a very cool concept, and it's not a big restaurant. We'll be just doing some very cool, still different than what we do at the mill, but there'll be very cool Italian sandwiches and some cool salads, and you'll be able to get wine and beer, and we're also going to do some cocktails to kind of try to get our olives going a little bit. So it's a very small, cozy restaurant with about a 60-person patio. So it's going to be fun. And then, of course, right across the hall in that open market kind of theme will be our Oils and Olives, where we'll sell nothing but all of our products. So, the big thing that people always tell me is, boy, you're so far out there and I can't get your product. I said, well, I'm going to take care of that. So, that's probably where we're going to be for a little bit, but that's you can now get your product in the north part of the city, and you can get it in the out by the Biltmore. So,
Right. And the web is really a great venue. It's a great way to go.
yeah.
I think Pam from Minnesota came in a little late. She says she's definitely going to come down because she's a snowbird when she gets here, and she lives in Florence when she comes down. But she wants to know, is there a place online that she can look at a menu of the product? So she came in a little late. If you can give your contact info again.
Yes, QueenCreekOliveMill.com, all spelled out. That's our website. And in the upper right-hand corner is a little shopping bag that says Shop Online, and that takes you to all of our products.
I think she's looking for our menu, though.
You're
You're always selling, aren't you?
So the menu for the restaurant is under a restaurant. It says Del Piero, and that is where the menu is for the restaurant.
Yeah, and we get a lot of Minnesotians, eh? We really do.
That was weak. That was very Canadian.
We
Barry.
we do though.
Yeah, say yeah, you betcha.
Between Canadians and it's just
There's a lot of snowbirds.
And I guarantee you like the food.
Janice from Florence Garden said, do we have to do anything special to bring in our bridge club? And this is a quote of 24 old farts.
Yeah. You actually do, especially if they're old farts. What you have to do is you need to. If there's 24 of you, you'll probably be better off just calling
Casey Cole
at the Olive Mill. What's the number? 888-9290, 480-888-9290, and talk to Casey, because the best thing to do when you've got a group that big is make sure Casey's prepared for you. And like Rob said, we offer some packages where you can get the lunch already made, so I can do a personal tour, or Rob can, and then from there we take care of you, put you on picnic tables out in the Grove, underneath an olive tree.
Oh,
It's
neat.
it's very romantic. Yeah,
It's good. It's
and don't it is a very romantic place to come.
It's neat. There's some other food that you have back there. I just
Yeah.
want to kind of talk a little bit about the recipe. I see. Were you joking or were you serious when you said that you have cupcakes made with olive oil?
Oh yeah, these are
Let's talk about that.
And
All
the
right.
phones are back
And-
on, by the way, guys.
Okay, good.
480-745-1033.
all right.
And while we're talking, I'm going to just taste
Oh,
There
this.
you
I'm
go.
going to be
Little
snagging
dip.
a piece of that in a minute. Look at that bread. Oh, thank you, Dr. Borik.
When we started thinking about what we wanted to bake in our kitchen at the mill, we started out making a bunch of olive oil cakes. And the first olive oil cake we made was the vanilla bean olive oil. With the vanilla bean, and olive oil tends to make the cake very moist and not, it's almost like a pound cake but made with olive oil. So what we did was we took our blood orange olive oil, our Mexican lime olive oil, our Meyer lemon olive oil, our chocolate olive oil, and our vanilla bean olive oil, and we now make cupcakes, and we sell a zillion cupcakes. They're so. Well, you want to taste one?
That absolutely, I do. For those, I mean, I'm just thinking about our cardiac patients. Patients that have had bypass surgery, heart surgery, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. The studies now show that this, the phytochemicals that are found in the olive oil is beneficial to the body. And so here you have. I mean, this is great.
That's
Yeah,
right. Talk
it's-
about a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down.
Yeah, this is actually these are really good. These
be
are
careful for diabetics, though.
These are my very very favorite thing to eat. Yeah, next to my holy cannolis, but they're very good. They're very good
That's fantastic.
and so moist. I mean, look. Well, here, look. I'll just. This is the
my.
blood orange. I mean,
Oh, wow.
Look at that. It is just
yeah,
and I'm gonna have some.
yeah.
Very good. Very
That's fantastic. Wow. Call in 480-745-1033. So what else can we give our listeners in terms of just some tips about, like when they go to see the tour, like take-home points, what would your message be for cooking, for storing, for, all those kinds of things?
Well, a lot of people don't realize that the olive is a fruit. So it's
Okay.
we pick it fresh, we press it fresh. We only pick what we're going to press the very next day. And a lot of folks are surprised to find out that you can bake with extra virgin olive oil as well as saute. But extra virgin olive oil is great on the outside as well. We have a whole line of bath and body products that Perry's wife Brenda has put together.
What's your name?
And it's beautiful. It's good for your skin.
It's interesting that you say that because just not long ago, I go to more of an organic place for my hair. I don't like chemicals and so forth. And the hairstylist said, take olive oil and use it on your hair. And she said, I do it all the time. And I thought, and that's what I was thinking about. So you do have a line of, bath and beauty and moisturizing creams and those kinds
Yeah,
of things.
and my wife, and there's nothing on the label that you can't read.
That's
so
great.
it's very, 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 very organic and
That's
natural.
huge.
So that's kind of fun, and she has a lot of fun doing it too. So, and she's just that kind of person. So, and
Well, didn't she put this together for your kids? I mean, she
Yeah.
was concerned about the
Right,
health of your
exactly.
family. She took it on herself to learn how to do this, and she did it for the family long before they thought of marketing it.
yeah. So now,
From the heart.
and they are really. We do sell a lot of bath and body products in the store. So it's a great little Christmas gifts. Great little, and a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people just come in and they'll buy the oil and extra virgin
lip
olive
balm,
oil, lip balm,
Castile soap.
hand salve.
Can you get that on the website?
Yes, you can get it online too.
Okay, and that's important to know.
But if I were visiting the mill, I guess a typical day at the mill for me, if I was visiting, I would walk in, I would probably I would go right to the bar and get a glass of wine, and then I would walk around inside the mill and just kind of feel my way around, look at all the local products, look at the menu, finish my glass of wine, and then what I would do is I'd probably do a tour, and then I'd come out of the tour with a little bit of knowledge of what we do,
Right, which
our
makes
history, how to taste oil, and start doing some tastings because you can taste all of our products. And then I would have lunch with another glass of wine out in the Grove.
And then you'd finish up with a great coffee from Superstition Coffee.
Yeah.
They roast the beans on site. They're they're some friends of Perry's who they're a family business similar to Perry and Brenda. They have a passion for good food, and
Yeah.
they have the freshest coffee in town.
This is actually a very cool story because they used to provide us our roasted coffee, and Terry and Bill Maris are they're just they've been in the business. Matter of fact, they've moved here from, I believe, Seattle. And one day I was talking to him and his wife out in the Grove, and I said, I'm putting this big expansion on. Why don't you guys just come over here and roast coffee in my building?
Wow. And
they looked at me and with 4 eyes, and then finally, next day he called me and said, I like that idea. I think we're going to do that. So what we did was we carved out 400 square feet for them. They roast the coffee fresh.
That's cool.
They do a little coffee 101 cupping on Sunday mornings.
morning.
He does it for about 10 people, so you got to sign up early, but their coffee's fantastic.
That's fantastic.
And you can see them roasting it right in our store. You can see them roasting the coffee.
Those really thinking of coming out to Arizona, this is a great place to stop and check out because it really embodies what I think Arizona's all about. Health and well-being, and in the wintertime, the weather's fantastic here. I think it's great. Joe, any other questions?
We are loaded with questions. So if you're getting a busy signal, guys, I just keep the phones off just so I can ask the questions. We'll get right back to you here. First of all, your wife is out there. That would be Brenda, right? So let's do a shout-out to Brenda, and she'd like you to talk about the benefits of olive oil for your skin.
Oh,
and she says you look absolutely fantastic. No, I just threw that in.
Well, first of all, it's nature's moisturizer, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, everything that goes on your skin is absorbed by your body.
Exactly.
The
skin
as a doctor,
is an organ.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, not only is it a moisturizer, but because of omega-3, it's. I mean, look at me. I mean, I just use it all the time.
Right. Yeah, your skin does not look dry.
Yeah.
And then there's nothing.
Healthy.
Yeah, there's nothing bad in it as well.
That's the key.
It's very good for you, and there's nothing bad. So there's anything that's being absorbed, and everything is absorbed by your skin, the largest organ, is all good for you.
Right.
So.
Yeah. The thing that I love about my wife is she's very organic and very natural, and no SLS in her her shampoo.
Yes, and that's important.
Very important, and everything. I mean, and also she uses no fragrances.
That's huge, Brenda. You're a step ahead, and I mean, we know that the incidences of lots of different cancers that we see, are tied back to that. And so that's very, very important. In the hospital, it's interesting. There's surgeons today that if somebody has gallstones, for example, and they're not a surgical candidate, we'll use olive oil mixed with citrus, with little lemon juice, and have them drink it.
And what does that do?
And what that does is it helps to flush the gallbladder from gallstones.
Oh my goodness!
Wow.
Well, that goes.
Now that's that is so weird because
That's amazing.
I have a niece right now who has gallstones.
Well, there you go. You're this.
I am going to call my sister as soon as I get off here.
But Perry, the study shows that mixing it with the citrus, with either
lemon juice or lime juice,
lemon juice is really what's recommended, and it has been found to really help get rid of the sludge.
You're kidding me.
And some of the gallstones.
So what do you just down it?
Just down it.
Just a big shot of it.
Yeah, and I can get you the actual study, but it's about 2 ounces.
Wow.
Yeah.
Once a day?
Well, yeah. One time.
You didn't even know you're the solution to gallstones.
Yeah.
There you go.
And sludge removal, right?
And sludge removal.
Olive oil has come from being, the industrial lubricant at the beginning.
Right.
No, really, that's how it started.
That's true.
Olive oil was an industrial lubricant long time ago.
Okay.
And then finally, people said, wow, this is actually pretty good. Let's try it on salads. Let's start cook with it. So that's and now the health benefits of olive oil totally outweigh the mechanical part of lubricant.
Right.
Yep. But it's good for the mechanisms within the body, too.
Absolutely, yeah, lubricates your body.
It does.
So Dr. Borik, Paul would like to know, would it be a benefit to just take, like a spoonful a day?
That's a good question. And it depends on your medical history. If somebody, for example, is overweight and trying to lose weight and so forth, that's better than eating cookies and candy, because of a caloric and a calorie. But I would be careful not to overdo it because too much of anything is not good.
It's still a fat.
It's still a fat. It is a monounsaturated fat, and there are phytochemicals in it that are beneficial to the body. But, too much of it may not be good. And honestly, I don't know how the liver would deal with it, how the pancreas would, overdosing on it. For example, taking that whole bottle and downing it may not be the best thing.
Yeah, I think if you're going to use a fat, this is probably a good choice
a
fat.
It's the best choice.
Right.
But I would, be careful. And everything in moderation, I think, is really the message. Yeah.
Let's see. Bob from Phoenix would like to know, does your place cater for Christmas parties? We have 250 people, and if you do, contact info so they can talk about booking it.
Excellent. Again, Casey Cole, 480-888-9290, and there's the message tells you which button to push to get a hold of Casey.
So you can do a full Christmas party, catering, food, all that stuff, the whole 9 yards.
Whatever the customer wants, we'll provide. And one of the popular things that we do for a lot of catering is we do a lot of small nibble bites that we that are really kind of popular right now. So kind of the cocktail kind of deal that's very popular right now. So
I'm just thinking what would be really neat would be to put a little handbook or something together of all the health benefits of how olive oil, benefits the gallbladder, the skin, the eyes. We know that there's, huge benefits for even helping for osteoporosis and those kinds of things. So maybe that would be something maybe a project that we can think about.
I think we should give that project to Doc.
Maybe I could do that.
That's
yeah.
right.
And
you put
we'll
it together.
We'll put it on our website.
We'll make it look pretty.
There you go. Maybe
We'll put your
do that.
face there, and we'll say, let's do that.
DocTalk
That'll be
Radio.
done by tomorrow, huh?
DocTalk, maybe tonight.
Nice.
We
Now,
can do
isn't
it.
it a natural analgesic as well?
Well, it has anti-inflammatory effects.
Okay.
And, so people who can't tolerate ibuprofen, for example, olive oil has absolute anti-inflammatory effects, which is really good, which also lends to some of the anti-cancer benefits because it decreases inflammation in the body.
Wow.
And so that's beneficial.
Well, that answers my question. A cupcake and a cannoli, and I get the swelling goes down on my wrist.
That's right.
Thank you guys for coming in.
Holy
And rub a little olive oil on the outside.
Excellent, excellent.
But I got to tell you, if we do that, everything will be, evidence-based. We'll do it, to the highest quality. I think it would be a great project. Yeah, I think it'd be good.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Dr.
Okay.
Borik, Frida from Glendale would like to know, she says, I love to fry, but we've kind of cut that out because of health concerns. Is it okay to fry once in a while than using olive oil? Would you say that's the healthy alternative
It is
if they need to fry?
absolutely the healthy alternative.
And it's endorsed by Dr. Borik, Chief of Staff
Chief of Staff.
There you go.
of the Florence Hospital of Anthem.
And I endorse it too, as long as you're using our
which
olive
carries
oil.
more
If you
endorsement.
invite me over, I'll eat.
That's right.
That's good.
Let's see here. We have Timmy from AJ would like to know, do you have a bar lounge that he can kind of just go relax at and drink?
I like that guy. Excellent.
A bar lounge.
We are. It's casual. It's not a. It's not a sit at bar. We prefer having people spread out in our marketplace or out in the Grove.
But it's a comfortable place to go hang out with a few buddies
absolutely.
around a high top. And
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got
absolutely.
a big patio out in the front, and
we have 9 craft beers on draft, which is all local, along with some
great
several
wines.
different wines.
Yeah,
Absolutely, and we'll cork any. We have over 200 labels in our store, and we'll cork any of them.
yeah, and you can drink your wine. You can purchase it and drink it on the patio or drink it in the Grove.
You have to watch out, though, when you go there, Timmy. There's a lot of supermodels that hang out in the place, so be careful.
Well, on Friday and Saturday nights we're open till 10.
That's correct.
And we have great pizza. I mean, our pizza is.
with
I
olive oil.
have a wood oven in my backyard, and over the last 5 years, I've perfected pizza. And our pizza, hand pulled mozzarella, great sauce. It's actually my wife's dough recipe.
Really?
And we also use all the meats from the local pork shop down the road.
Perry, I'm so glad you brought that up because those people who follow on Facebook and DocTalk Radio, just recently there was a study that came out showing that tomatoes, the lycopene in tomatoes, in the tomato sauce, the beneficial, phytochemical that's in the tomato, has been found to be more beneficial when olive oil is eaten with the tomato.
Wow.
Or with the tomato sauce. and what happens is it mobilizes and makes the lycopene more bioavailable in the body, which is interesting because
That
now
is, I love olive
Great.
oil.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, isn't it? It is.
Well, that I've got some nice.
Are you making this up?
No, and that's why it's so ironic that, and those people listening can verify. Just 2-3 days ago,
Here we go. Grape tomato.
I have that reference.
Drizzled with extra virgin olive oil. So
You just had that in your pocket?
no,
It's on
this
a. I
lovely
didn't see the plate. See that? I'm like, wow, he just pulled that out of his pocket.
These are the kind of little cool finger foods that
Yeah,
if
We got to hold those up to the camera
yeah,
here.
if
Let's
you know
get that.
there is a supersada wrapped
Oh, my.
stuffed olive and a little provolone with a jalapeno stuffed olive and a Genoa salami. A grape tomato with a rolled up leaf of basil, fresh mozzarella, and these are the kind of finger foods that are great for cocktail parties too. By the way, and that is our Del Piero olive mix, which is very nice. You want that?
Hold that up to the camera.
There you go. So those are all kind of fun things.
That's amazing. I'm going to get a
Look
picture
at
of
how
that.
colorful that is.
So let's talk about the holy cannoli there.
The
Is
holy
there-
cannoli.
What's in that? And there's no olive oil in there, is there?
There is no olive oil in the holy cannoli.
Okay, good.
But the cannoli is made. We make the mascarpone. We take the mascarpone cheese. We pipe it into the cannoli.
Yeah, that'd be great.
The little chocolate drizzle on top. And these ones happen. There's 3 different cannolis here. But one interesting thing, that the pistachios are Arizona-grown pistachios.
Very good.
Yeah.
Those listening, I pulled up this study, and I just to make sure that you know that I'm not making this up. There was a study that says tomatoes lower the risk of stroke, and this study was just recently published in the Journal of Neurology. And what the gist of the study was looking at tomatoes and the lycopene in the tomato and how that helps to decrease the risk of stroke. But it specifically says that the lycopene, thus the benefit of using a little olive oil when making the sauce, brings out the benefit of the lycopene and helps to decrease the risk of stroke.
See, there you go. So
See how much your mother knew already,
I
Perry.
think
She knew.
It's amazing.
Shut up and eat.
Shut up and eat it. It's good for you.
So I think that tonight I'm going to go home and I'm going to make a tomato salad with olive oil.
That's it.
And a little bit of sea salt. And
That's
that's
the
gonna. There you go.
Best thing you can do for your body.
Okay.
That's neat. Joe, what else you have?
Is there a bakery as well inside? Do you cook your own breads?
We actually get our bread from another local bread maker in Coolidge, Arizona, Mediterra Bakery, and they make all of our breads for us. Ciabattini's, some great French loaves, batards, olive loaves.
this is
This
a batard.
batard,
Wow.
this is a country batard that we get. Delivers every morning. He is a wonderful baker, and
Wow.
they actually came here from Pittsburgh. They have a very large bakery in Pittsburgh. They supply.
I'm from Pittsburgh.
Well, they supply the whole Pittsburgh
Really?
market. Yes.
His name is Nick.
Nick, what is his,
he's, I call him Nick the Greek. He's Nick.
what's his last name?
You know what? It's. I got to pull it out of
Okay.
my phone,
That's
but
okay.
I'll get it. But they came here.
Everybody's
They
Nick or
came here.
Nicholas.
They came
My
here.
father's Nicholas. Yeah.
Angelo
there you go.
Nicholas.
They came here about a year and a half ago, and we've been. And as a matter of fact, we're using him. He has tailored all of the breads for our sandwiches, so he specifically makes them for us. So I've kind of commissioned him to make the breads, even for the new restaurant in the Biltmore.
Oh, wow.
So
I gotta meet this guy. Is he-
very.
wow, that's
Oh yeah, and he's got. You know what? He's in Coolidge, downtown
I
Coolidge.
mean, the hospital is
His
right there,
bakery's
right down the street.
What's
Yeah.
the name of the bakery again?
Mediterra.
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 Yeah. I mean,
Okay,
yeah.
good.
Yeah, anyway, he's so that's kind of where the breads come from. And all the rest of the baked items that we do, the cupcakes, the cannolis, the cookies, the brownies,
The banana bread.
zucchini, all of that's, and everything has olive oil in it. Even the cookies have olive oil in it. So everything, a lot of stuff comes out of our bakery.
You know, I want to just think, talking about cookies for children, and maybe Brenda, your wife, may. Is there ever a time when it's children, to start kids on olive oil? I mean, how do I want to say this? Are kids too young to start olive oil? What age?
mean,
You're never too young for good food.
Well, I mean, it's just food. I mean,
I mean, you don't feed infants or babies. I mean, once they're eating food? I guess that's a stupid question,
Well,
but
you didn't tell my mom that. I mean, she used to put it in my formula. No, no. I just think, as soon as the kid can start eating, I mean, everything that we cook at home has got olive. I mean, my son wakes up in the morning, he fries his egg in olive oil. I mean, we don't, like I said, we don't use any butter. It's like everything is extra virgin olive oil.
Studies. That's good.
That's his last name with the A.
I'd like to start my olive oil therapy today.
All right.
There you go.
Excellent.
Well, cupcakes and bread, and things like that. Hey, you know what? Really quick, Marty from Tempe. Where was his question here? Oh, gift sets.
Gift sets.
You couldn't find gift sets on the web?
It's right under gift boxes.
Under gift boxes there, Marty.
Yep, right next to.
And Marty, we do a ton of gift boxes, so get your order in early. We really, and they ship very well. So.
And people love them.
Yeah, they're fun, and you can kind of mix and match and put all kinds of different things in them too. So,
all right, phones are back on, guys. So call me up.
From a medical perspective, there's one more thing that I want to talk about in terms of olive oil, and that's the blood clotting effects. It really tends to decrease the incidence of blood clots in the body. It has that effect, and so people listening out there, just again, the benefit of olive oil to the cardiovascular system and to strokes and all that stuff is that it does have the antioxidant, the phytochemicals, and it helps to actually decrease the viscosity, if you will, of the blood.
I have
which is
heard
good.
that. Yes. Yep.
and especially accompanied with red wine, right?
Well, I mean, there's some benefits of red wine, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's really, I'm not sure it's the alcohol, but it's really the grape.
It's the grape.
It's
the
tannins.
Yeah, in the grape. So that's the benefit. Anything else you guys want to while we're waiting on any other calls? We only have like 10 minutes left, and so just wanted to kind of wrap things up.
Well, I think for us, this time of the season is our busiest time. The harvest season started for us about 3 weeks ago, and if you really want to taste the oil coming right out of the machine, then you really need to visit us during the next, probably the next 6 weeks, because we'll be continuously harvesting. Next week is a very big week for harvest. Next week, not only do I press our olives, but I also have a relationship with a farmer in Yuma, who I get all of his Arizona olives. So I've kind of got all the Arizona farmers. Good. I'm trying to talk more Arizona farmers in to bring me their olives so that I can actually process them. So the next 6 weeks is a lot of fun at the mill. If you really want to see us process the olives and taste the oil, and then after that, after about 4 to 5 weeks after that, I put together what I call my private press. I make 100 cases of 3 distinctly profiles of olive oil, and because I can make olive oil taste very grassy and peppery, or on the other end of the scale, I can make it taste very buttery and fruity. A purple ripe olive will give you a very buttery, fruity tasting oil, whereas a green ripe olive will give you a very peppery, herbaceous style of olive oil. So only during the month of January, I'll put together 100 cases of 3 different profiles called the Bianca, the Franciscan, and the Arcangelo. And those are the 3 different profiles. And you're welcome to come in and taste each one of them. And the only thing is, when they're gone, they're gone. So, and I only do it for that month. And then the rest of the year, I put together what I call our Tuscan Estate profile, which is kind of that, kind of the middle of the road, not so herbaceous but not so fruity, something that you can use in the kitchen. So, I do encourage people to come out and watch us make the oil. That's a lot of fun.
Now, as I'm walking along in Arizona, I see an olive tree. And can I pick that olive and eat? I mean, I was told that you can't do that because I'm not from Arizona. So
you can do it. It doesn't taste very good.
So is it? It's not poisonous at all.
No, it's not poisonous. It's not poisonous. That's why they cure the olive. When you cure the olive, you cure it in a saline solution.
Okay.
It's a salt cure, and what it does is it when you're curing it, the salt just exchanges the bitter water in the olive. So you're taking the bitterness out of the olive and adding salt into the olive.
And how long does that take?
Well, minimum of 3 months. Okay. And it depends on how ripe the olives are. It depends on whether you've broken the skin of the olive. Okay. Sometimes you'll see Kalamatas that have a little slit in them. That just aids the quickness of the curing. So, and there's a lot of different recipes on websites on how to cure olives. I mean, you can do all kinds of different things. I just caution everybody not to use lye when they're curing their olives.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to shoot through these really quick here because I know we're getting pitched on time.
Wow.
Betty and Juan from Queen Creek, they're on the way there now for a yummy lunch. Wanted to let you know.
Welcome.
Love the Olive Mill.
That's great.
Terry from Mesa. Is the entertainment every Saturday or just this Saturday coming up?
Every Saturday and Sunday during our festivals, and we have 3 during the main part of the season, the Harvest Festival, the Festival of the New Oil from January 15th to February 15th, and then the Olive Blossom Festival in April. But really, just about every Saturday, while the weather's good, we have live entertainment and complimentary wine tastings out in the Grove.
Yeah, and usually, matter of fact, almost every Saturday, we have one of our local vendors tasting their local products that they sell in the store.
Neat.
Nice. Bob, Gila Bend in the trucking industry, he wants to know, he's never been to your facility, but wants to know, can they do their holiday party at your place, or does it have to be catered?
No, at our place. Yeah.
Oh, at your place you can do them as well.
Yeah.
Either or.
Excellent. And remember that contact info one more time there.
Casey Cole at 480-888-9290.
And Misty from Gold Canyon wants everyone to know it's a great girls' day out to relax, enjoy, and de-stress. She says she's a regular with her girlfriends.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's great. Wow. I just want to kind of open it up if there's anything else we want to talk about and just kind of wrap the show. What else do you have over there?
This is our signature sandwich, the Kalamata.
Yeah, this is a fun little story. This is the Food Network came in and did.
Oh, wow.
They did the best thing I ever ate, and this made the list of the best thing I ever ate. Chef Bo McMillan from Elements.
Wow.
Picked this sandwich as one of the best things. The neat thing about this sandwich is, while you look at it, bread from Coolidge, all the meats from the pork shop, and everything else in there is from the Queen Creek Olive Mill.
That's really,
how cool is that?
Really cool.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and it's just look at the meat in there. I mean, that is just.
Am I supposed to be drooling?
Yeah, well, just don't get too close to it.
I won't get too close. Look at that.
Yeah.
Wow.
That looks like it's from the Food Channel.
Yeah, it's a great sandwich.
God.
It's a great sandwich, and we sell it. Yeah, well, it does help to be on the Food Network. I'll tell you.
And there's actually some fresh basil right there.
Mm-hmm. I picked this out of the garden before I came.
Did you really?
Yeah, we this is funny. The basil I kept alive all year. Usually the basil likes to die. In this year I covered it up and put a little heater in it, so we have fresh basil from our garden all year round. So
the place where basil is taken care of like a king.
Yeah, that's right.
Heated and covered.
Heated and covered.
Bring us your tired and worn out basil.
That's neat. That's cool. And there's is that paprika over there? Is that?
Where?
No, on the side there. What is that?
Oh, this?
Yeah, that green.
This right here. This is Italian flat leaf parsley.
Oh, parsley. That's what, not paprika. Parsley.
And I picked this before I came too.
I wanted to, and the reason that I wanted to bring that up was there's some medical studies that talk about how parsley has a high content of molybdenum, which is an element in the body. And people who drink wine they get a headache, from whatever causes the headache from the wine.
Too much wine.
Well, it's actually more than that. It's the sulfite, I guess.
The sulfite
that's in the wine. Parsley tends to decrease the absorption of the sulfite and remove the headache caused by wine.
You're just giving me more excuses to drink
Isn't
more
that
wine.
cool?
That's excellent.
No, it's actually an excuse to eat parsley.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
true. That's
Right?
true.
All right.
I'll take some parsley.
So that's neat.
Maynard from Tempe wants to know, do you sell fresh herbs?
You know what? We just don't have a big enough garden to sell fresh herbs. We use all our own fresh herbs, so no, we don't, unfortunately. But that's probably a good suggestion. Maybe I should do that.
I mean, at least you have it
Well, I
with
know
the
that
food.
and they grow very well too. So it's
We have a great cheese selection too, along with our wine selection. And when you come out on any day of the week, we've got a gal there who's a sommelier and a fromager, and she'll expand your knowledge of cheese and wine and send you home with the best stuff you could ever drink and eat.
Wow. As we wrap up, I just want to make sure that we put out one more time the contact information, the website. So why don't you just kind of give us all that
and maybe
information?
some quick, just directions, crossroads for people that just want to jam out there.
You bet. We're at Rittenhouse Road and Combs Road in Queen Creek. Don't rely on your GPS. Check our website for directions. Rittenhouse and Combs Road. If you're coming down the 60 Ironwood, and then right on Combs Road, and we are at Meridian in Combs Road. So, and the website is queencreekolivemill.com, and our phone number is 480-888-9290. And we'd love to have all of you folks come and visit us any day of the week. We're always open, only close 4 days of the year.
That's great. Perry Ray, thank you.
You're
Thank
absolutely
you,
welcome.
really,
It's been a pleasure.
so much for being here. And Rob Holmes,
Thank you.
That's great.
Let me just quickly ask, since you say you're always open, what are your actual hours during the day?
We're basically it's 9 to 5, but we open at 8 to 10 on Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Saturdays, and 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Fridays. Open up at 8 on Sunday, and we're also open at 8 on Tuesday for an early bird breakfast as groups come by and meet. And
you're mixing me up, Rob. You really are mixing me up.
I think we need to just stay open 24/7. That would make you happy.
So really,
When the heck are we open, for God's sakes?
so really Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, Friday and Saturday we open at Saturday and Sunday we do open at 8 in the morning. So Saturday and Sunday 8 in the morning.
Right.
And that's if you want to come out for a nice breakfast, it's especially at this time of year, it's a nice time to come out.
Yeah, that's great. All right.
All right.
That's it. We have some great guests coming up in the next few weeks. We have a veterinarian that's going to be on the show talking about animals and so forth. And really, you don't really think about that, but I think that will lend to some of the DocTalk concepts and thoughts and so forth. We have a rheumatologist that'll be on the show talking about a lot of different rheumatologic problems, rheumatoid arthritis, and everything that goes along with that. We have a special electrophysiologist, cardiologist that'll be coming on. And next week, actually, we're going to have some of the EMS, the emergency medic system people. So the actual guys that are the paramedics and so forth are going to be in the studio next week. So we have a really great show line up for the next few weeks. So tune in, www.DocTalkRadio.com or Facebook us.
All right, and thanks for listening to Doc Talk. And those of you that called in to wish me happy birthday, I just want to say thank you so much.
Happy birthday, Joe.
Well, thank you.
Happy birthday.
Did you like how I kind of...
Here, you know what? Let's put a candle on one of these cupcakes.
I thought those were my birthday
I'm going to leave them for you. I'm going to leave them for you.
All right, guys, you've been listening to Doc Talk. Please stay tuned. We've got lots of great shows, and, of course, 70s, 80s, smooth R&B, and light to classic rock 24/7 every day.
Hi, Marie here
good. You
for
guys are
wantasing.com.
awesome. That was
Are you
fun.
looking for professional DJs?
That was fun.
Always.
This
concludes Doc Talk Radio with Dr. Ann Borik. Till next time, I wish you health, wellness, and many blessings.
Doc Talk Radio is brought to you by Gilbert Hospital and Florence and Anthem Hospitals. Topics discussed are for informational and not intended to substitute advice from your personal physician.